Do you need an easy but OP attack strategy to demolish villages? Well, today I will break down the best attacks at any town hall level, so watching every strategy will give you divine knowledge to become the smartest player in Clash. These are also the same armies I use for my solo clan wars, where I have achieved over 60 winning streak. As always, to demonstrate how powerful these attack strategies are, we are going to be attacking the best base layouts designed by professional base builders. At Town Hall 1 there is nothing to talk about, but at Town Hall 2 the best army to use is a combination of giants and archers. Start off by clicking on the clan castle to check for any potential defending troops. If it has troops, then the only way to fight it off is by using CC troops of your own. Just lure it out and distract with a couple of archers whilst your baby dragon would destroy it. In case you don't have reinforcement troops, then skip the base and find another. Once you have found a suitable base, then focus only on the defenses. First send in giants to tank, and archers from behind to help take out the defenses. At Town Hall 3 you are going to encounter more and more bases that have defending clan castle troops, so the very first thing before each attack is to check the clan castle. Second thing is to take out the mortar. Knowing where the mortar is located gives you an idea which side you wanna lure the defending clan castle to. As you can see, in this case it's the bottom corner, which means we are going to use couple of archers to draw it to the side. Now circle it with some more archers, but make sure you have about 5 left over. Now we have to get rid of the mortar, and that can be done by taking out the cannons first. In order to do so, deploy giants in 2 groups of 4. Having them in 2 groups is beneficial because this way the mortar can't damage all the giants at once, increasing the chances of troops staying alive longer. Also, since the mortar is locked onto the giants, then this is a perfect opportunity for making an easy passage into the base using wall breakers. Once the mortar has been taken care of, start sending in rest of the archers to clean up the base for an easy 3-star. At Town Hall 4 we are going to use balloons. Similarly to the previous level, we will start off by checking the defending clan castle troops. In case there is a baby dragon, then bring it away from the defenses and surround them with archers. But make sure to lure them to the side where the air defense is the closest, as this is where you want to initiate your balloon attack from. If there is a Valkyrie inside the clan castle, then archers are not gonna work. In fact, there won't be a troop at this level that could kill a Valkyrie. You might be able to kill it only if you are going to waste half of the army, which we don't wanna do. The only efficient option is to get a baby dragon and a balloon inside your clan castle. If you find it hard to get donations, then simply join an active request and go clan for the CC troops. Once you have the baby dragon, then drop it to kill the Valkyrie. Now it's time to destroy the air defense. I would advise to use 7 to 8 balloons to take down the air defense, and as soon as these balloons will fly into the range of the archer towers, deploy 2 more balloons for each archer tower. If you encounter a base where air defense is in the middle, then try to attack it via archer towers, as they are the secondary target to be taken out. Once the defenses start to go down, deploy any remaining archers for the cleanup. Also make sure to pay attention if there are any corner builder huts, because these can cause you to run out of time. At Town Hall 5 we are going to use mix of ground and air troops. First of all, check the defending clan castle troops. If it has troops, then drop 1 archer to lure them out and strike the most dangerous troops with lightning spells. In this case, damage the Valkyrie over the archers. If any defending troops survive, then draw them to the side where the air defense is located. Once they are at a safe distance from nearby defenses, then circle them with some archers and couple of wizards. Before the remaining troops could walk into the range of a defense, send in the giants. Since our goal is to take out the air defense as quickly as possible, then it's very important to open any walls necessary in time. For example, if I didn't open this wall in time, then the giants would have targeted the upper side cannon instead. 2 wall breakers are often enough to open up a compartment. Now that the giants have taken out the air defense, we can start looking where to deploy our balloons. Since the giants will take care of the bottom left side archer tower, then try to destroy any air targeting defense with most of your balloons. Once certain parts have been cleaned up from defenses, then start deploying the cleanup troops. As you can see, with most of the army still alive, there's even no need to use clan castle troops. At Town Hall 6 a full ground army is the best option. First of all, check the clan castle and lure it to the side of the base where you can take out either the wizard towers or the mortars. Since the left and right side are identical, then it doesn't matter which one we will pick. If you find it difficult to lure the clan castle troops because the buildings are covering the CC radius, then use one giant instead of an archer. Make sure you are using archers to get them out of the range of defenses. Whatever the defending CC troop are, circle them with some archers, wizards, and if needed use one giant to distract. As soon as the defending CC is taken care of, place rest of the giants followed with a root rider from the clan castle. Root rider is the best attacking CC troop due to its high hit points and reliability to break through the walls. If your clanmates don't have root riders to donate, then simply take part of the raid weekend to earn raid medals to give troops for yourself. Many clans earn around 1500 raid medals per week, which means you can donate yourself 150 root riders every week, which is more than enough. And if it's still really difficult for you to get a root rider, then simply remove 3 wizards from the army and replace it with 6 wall breakers to help your giants get through the walls. As soon as you see your main group of giants with below 50% health, use heal spell to boost them up. Once the defenses are destroyed, deploy rest of the archers and wizards to clean up any of the buildings that are left for an easy 3-star. At Town Hall 7, Zap Dragon is without a doubt the most powerful strategy to use. First of all, locate the air sweeper. Once found, see in which direction is it facing, because you will always attack from behind. And in this case it's going to be either the bottom left or bottom right side. Since they are identical, then it doesn't really matter which side you will pick, but what does matter is that you would attack from the flat side and not from the corner. Next up, get rid of the furthest air defense using 5 lightning spells. If possible, try to damage any nearby air targeting defenses along with the air defense itself. Then we are going to start creating a funnel for the dragons. If you saw earlier during scouting that enemy has defending CC troops, then do not use your BK for the funnel from the bottom corner, as it can lure out the CC and get him killed pretty fast. Instead, use it for the other corner like you can see here. In order to finish the funnel, we also need to clean up the other corner by using a balloon to check air traps and then 2-3 dragons to take out those outer buildings. Now spread out those balloons along the side, followed by the rest of the dragons, as well as the reinforcement dragon. The last lightning spell should be used according to the clan castle troops. If there are many low housing space CC troops, then you might want to use a lighting on them. But if it's a dragon, then use it to deal damage to one of the air defenses. If there happens to be corner builder huts, then for that you can use archers I have included to this army. But if it doesn't have corner builder huts, then use them to clean up any of those outer trash buildings. For Town Hall 8, the strategy is Valkyries and Golems. For Barbarian King, pick Earthquake Boots and Rage Vial. First thing you need to identify is where are you going to attack from. To help you decide, look where can you easily set up the funnel. Easy funnel is typically created from a flat side, which means golems along with wizards have to be able to clean the corners, and in this case the upper right side is the ideal choice. This is because both golems will have a defense target to lock onto. Meanwhile, at the bottom corner the golem would walk too far from the corner. Now that you have an idea how the execution is going to look like, we will start off by luring out the defending clan castle troops. If you happen to go against a defending furnace, then immediately drop a poison spell and proceed with deploying your golems. In this case I dropped the first one in the far right corner so I can let the Valkyrie and wizards take care of the rest of the defending troops. Ideally you would want to use one golem backed with 4 to 5 wizards depending on the corners. Upper corner, for example, has many outer buildings to be cleaned up before the main army can be deployed, so I chose to use 5 wizards. Once the funnel has been made, deploy your Barbarian King alongside with a clan castle root rider. In case there are any nearby outer buildings, I would delay sending in the Valkyries until the root rider has opened the first compartment. If necessary, you can also use the wall breakers to open up the first compartment, but typically they can be used later on. Once the BK and Valkyries are inside the base moving towards the core, look for an opportunity to pop King's ability to open up as many compartments as possible. While doing all of that, keep an eye on the hit points of your Valkyries to keep them alive using heal spells. If you want to be entirely sure that not a single troop from your main push doesn't die, then the totem spell is hands down the best reinforcement spell to have. In all honesty, 3 heal spells are enough, but if something really goes wrong, then having totem spell is just a backup plan to get out of a sticky situation. If you happen to have any hogs, wizards, or wall breakers left, then just use them to help the main army clean up the base. At Town Hall 9 we are going to wipe bases with this army. For hero equipment, all that matters is the earthquake boots. Everything else is down to personal preference and what gear do you have available. When it comes to attacking, always remember to enter from one of the sides and not from corners. This is important for funneling. Picking the side itself is not that important, but I would personally choose the one where you can open up more compartments. In this case that would be one of these 3 sides. Since they are all quite identical, I will just go with the bottom right side. To open up the walls we will use 4 earthquake spells. It's good to know your earthquake spell level before you are going to place them, because the radius increases with the level. If you have level 1 or 2 earthquake spell, then you can't open up all these 4 compartments. In that case, swap them with jump spells instead. Once there is a passage inside the base, deploy Pekkas evenly across the side followed by witches. As soon as the corner buildings are about to be cleaned up, send in the king, queen, and CC Root Rider. If you are unable to get a Root Rider, then ask your clanmates for Valkyries instead. Depending on the enemy defending clan castle location, you want to be ready to drop a poison spell on them. And if possible, place it so that a nearby hero would be poisoned as well. In order to get rid of the defending CC quickly, I would highly suggest to use a rage spell on your troops. Once your troops are stuck behind a wall, it's perfect time to pop King's ability. This will help to assure that your troops swoop through the base in one clean shot. Second rage spell can be used whenever there is a need to take out a key defense faster. Lastly, we have totem spell to help direct an incoming damage off from one of your heroes or troops in general. In case you are not a fan of witch attack and would fancy something with air instead, then check out my 2025 guide, which is still my personal favorite Town Hall 9 army. Next up we have the Zap Dragons. For this strategy, Queen's Giant Arrow is really important to have. If you are attacking a maxed out Town Hall 10, then you will need level 12 Giant Arrow in order to be able to one-shot the air defense. When it comes to execution, then there are 2 scenarios. One where you can shoot down to air defenses with your giant arrow, and one where you will destroy just one. In the first scenario, you will have 3 lightning and an earthquake spell over, which means you should try to take out either an air sweeper pointing towards the direction you want to attack from, or a defending air targeting hero. Even though the space has some really easy spots to shoot down to air defenses, we are still going with only one, which is the worst case that can happen. Once the giant arrow has been used, drop 1 earthquake and 3 lightnings on all the air defenses that are left, and by doing so try to deal damage onto nearby heroes and defenses as well, because you can take some of those down at the same time. At this point you want to look for the most optimal side where you can take out the Inferno towers while avoiding flying into air sweepers. So in this scenario it must be either the bottom right or bottom left side. But since it's not possible to completely avoid air sweepers, then we are taking the bottom left side because this one is pointing slightly upwards. Meanwhile the other sweeper would keep pushing the dragons back with its full range. Now spread the balloons and dragons across that flat side you are entering from to assure that the dragons swoop through the base in one clean line. From behind the dragons, deploy the minion prince alongside with the stone slammer. For reinforcement troops, take either rocket balloons or regular balloons. In order to help dragons stay inside the base, I included 1 baby dragon to the army to take care of the outer trash buildings. The only thing you now need to pay attention to is the minion prince's ability. You want to use it so it can slow down as many of the air targeting defenses as possible. If you don't have your minion prince leveled up, then you can just go with the standard king and queen setup for this approach. In that case, use the king to help create funnel for the dragons. By following this plan, you should have most of your dragons still alive by the end of the attack, showing how strong this strategy is. At Town Hall 11 we are going to be using the Zap Witches. In terms of equipment, pick the earthquake boots for the Barbarian King. I would pair it with Vamp Stash or any other epic that you have leveled up. For the queen, take whatever you prefer. She is not the main character this time. And for the Grand Warden, take the Eternal Tome and Life Gem. First of all, you will start by destroying both Inferno towers using 1 earthquake and 4 lightning spells for each of those Inferno towers. While doing so, make sure that you are looking to damage other defenses around if there are any. Once you have taken down both of the Inferno towers, you will enter from whichever side gives you the most log launcher value. If the town hall is in the center of the base, then simply pick the side where you can get the earliest access to the Eagle artillery. If the town hall is all the way at the border of the base, just attack from the opposite direction, but not from the corner. Always attack from the flat side, so in this case either upper left or upper right side. Since both these sides are identical, I will go with upper right side. Now comes the funneling part. Place 1 P.E.K.K.A. and 4 to 5 witches from both corners and wait until they will clean up the outer buildings. Since the upper corner has many hit point buildings, then start deploying your funneling troops from there first so they can finish at about the same time with the right side corner. Once the funnel is about to be finished, deploy a golem followed with the log launcher. Try to place the siege machine so it would roll its logs over the key defenses for additional damage, and also to open up as many compartments as possible. If you see a defending CC troops coming out, immediately use a poison spell on them. Now that all the heroes and rest of the witches have been deployed, look for best potential hero ability usage. Pop Grand Warden's ability whenever there is a lot of incoming damage, like in this example the eagle artillery shots that could have taken out many of my witches. For the BK's ability, look for an opportunity to open compartments where the key defenses are located. And if you have an important war attack, I would 200% take totem spells with you, even when it means spending raid metals, because these can really help you out a lot. You might have also noticed I like to take a root rider in the clan castle, just so that once the log launcher opens up, the root rider can help to open up even more access through the base for my heroes and for my witches to assure that you again get yourself 3 stars. If you prefer an air attack instead, do check my 2025 guide for an easy zap dragon army. This is the absolute best Town Hall 12 army. I just used it for my clan war attacks and it took out max Town Hall 12 with all my heroes and most of my troops still alive. And it can easily take out Town Hall 13 as well. The best part is you don't really need to plan. All my war attacks I do without even scouting the base. What you need for this attack are these common equipments. And if you have epics, then feel free to use them, but if you don't, then swap the giant puppet with healer puppet, and dark crown with whatever you have higher level. Once you click an attack button, all you need to do is look where can you get the best giant arrow value. Typically I look for a spot to shoot down to air defenses or an air defense and a sweeper. Secondly, you can also take into consideration where the queen can make a funnel for the dragons. In this case the obvious choice would be either the left or right corner. Once you have shot an arrow, you can let the queen clean up couple of buildings for that funnel and now spread the balloons and dragons along the side where the eagle artillery is the closest. Then deploy your heroes, and at this point I am usually timing the blimp so I can both extend how far the blimp can fly as well as protect the troops from eagle artillery shells. Now all you got to do is pay attention to the blimp. Once it's about to be destroyed, drop the clone spells. The first one should go underneath the blimp, and then the second and third should drive your electromites to the direction where the most dangerous defenses are. Right after you have dropped the clones, use rage in the middle so electromites can reach most of the nearby defenses. Doing this clone overlapping trick means you don't have to stress if the blimp reaches the desired location or not. It can still cause a lot of damage as long as you won't clone any dragons. One very important thing to remember is to remove all the other troops from your CC prior to your attack, or otherwise the clone spells could be multiplying something else. Now to further protect your army, look for opportunity to pop Minion Prince's ability whenever there are air targeting defenses ahead of him. Also you can drop totem spells to distract any annoying defenses or heroes. If you are dealing with scatter shots, then direct the damage away from your dragons by placing the totem spells like this. To be fair, in many cases you won't even need them, but for war attacks it's good to have these spells just in case. I did also include that one baby dragon to the army to help with the funnel or just clean up any of the trash buildings. At Town Hall 13 we will be using macietas. I would highly recommend using this equipment combo, but if you do not have epic abilities then common gear will do the job as well. First of all, we need to pick the side where we can get the most log launcher value. Since the town hall is at the upper corner, then we are going to attack from either bottom right or bottom left side. If the town hall is in the center, however, simply attack from the side where you can get the eagle artillery down the fastest. Next up we have to make a funnel. For that we are going to use Royal Champion from one corner and Yeti Valkyrie from another corner. Most of the time you should use RC for a corner that is harder to funnel. In this case right side corner has more outer buildings to be cleaned up for funnel, so that's where the Royal Champion goes. Once the RC has run out of rocket spears, start using invisibility spells every 4 seconds to keep her safe. If there happens to be higher hit point trash buildings around, then make sure to clean them up using a Valkyrie or two. As soon as the royal champion has destroyed the desired key defenses for the funnel, recall her so we can later deploy her again with our main army. Once you are done with RC, it's time to funnel the bottom corner using 3 Valkyries and 2 Yetis. As soon as they are done, get ready to spread the Yetis along the side, followed by Mini Warden, Log Launcher, and Heroes. Try to angle the Log Launcher so it would also damage any of the key defenses while opening as many compartments as possible. Feel free to pop that Queen's ability early as long as there are no air defenses around, because we want to keep the healers safe. Same goes for the Grand Warden's ability. You can use it early in case your army has already suffered damage. Often when Eternal Tome has been activated, it's ideal time to use Rage spells so the army can run through bombs without losing any health. In case you need to direct any damage away from your army, feel free to use the totem spells. If you are facing a scatter shot, place the totem so your army doesn't get hit with its splash damage. When it comes to King's ability, then try to use it whenever your troops are stuck behind walls. If it happens that the BK goes walking around the base where there is no point of using earthquake boots, then I have included 2 root riders inside the CC that will help your army make a clean sweep of the core of the base. Rest of the Valkyries can be used to clean up any trash buildings to prevent time fails. At Town Hall 14 we have an army you can use to even triple higher Town Hall levels. From hero equipment, it's really important to have Giant Arrow, Dark Orb, and Eternal Tome. If you have these, then everything else is just bonus. The attack itself is very simple. First of all, funnel one of the corners using the Royal Champion, ideally the one where Eagle Artillery is. In case Eagle is in the core, then simply look for any of the other key defenses like scatter shots, Inferno Towers, or air defenses. In this scenario, as you can already see, it was the top corner because of the Eagle Artillery. Now keep placing a new invisibility spell on the RC every 4 seconds to create a massive funnel as possible. Since it's pretty tough to predict where the RC is going to end up, we will just wait until she is done and then we can decide which side to use for our main army. In this case I decided for upper left side because this way the dragons could fly from behind the air sweeper, and also it was the narrow side. Once the balloons, dragons, heroes, and a blimp have been deployed, try to pop the Warden's ability right before the blimp is about to leave his aura. If the town hall would have been further away, then delaying blimp would have been wise thing to do, because our goal is to take it out with the Yeti inside the blimp. Once the blimp lands, drop a rage spell on the troops to destroy the town hall before the dragons get there. When it comes to the queen and her giant arrow, then this can be shot at any time during the attack. Personally, I like to do it sometime after deploying my full army so she is more likely to survive. If you want less stress, then you can send her in to take out any of the desired air defenses right after you have done the RC funneling. To ensure an easy 3-star, I would always advise to take totem spells for your clan castle so you can direct the damage away from your troops and heroes when necessary. At Town Hall 15 we are using a super simple mass Yeti army. All you have to do is pick the side furthest from the town hall, which in this case would be the upper left side. If the town hall happens to be right in the center of the base, then pick the side where you can get the Eagle Artillery destroyed the fastest. Now comes the funneling. As always, we are going to create the funnel by cleaning up the corners. For that we are going to use Royal Champion from one side and Yeti Valkyrie from the other side. Since both corners are pretty much identical, it doesn't matter who you are going to send for each corner, but typically you should use RC where it's harder to funnel, and Yeti Valkyrie where it's easier. If you have Rocket Spear on RC, then definitely use it right at the beginning so she can shoot down defenses from a safe distance. Once she is out of Rocket Spears, start covering her with invisibility spells every 4 seconds. If there's any trash buildings left behind her, drop a Valkyrie to clean it up. As soon as you are out of invisibility spells, send in 2 Yetis and 3 Valkyries from the other corner to finish the funnel. Once it's done, spread the remaining Yetis along the side, followed by the Log Launcher, Mini Warden, and heroes. If there's no air defenses nearby, then feel free to pop that queen ability for healers to spawn. Also, if the base happens to have invisibility towers, then try to line the queen so she can trigger that with a giant arrow. In case your troops have already taken significant damage or defending CC troops are coming at your army, then use the Grand Warden's ability along with the poison spell to slow down the defending troops. Now, as the Eternal Tome effect is about to expire, look to distract any of the key defenses using totem spells. When it comes to scatter shots, be mindful of its splash damage when placing the totems. Do it so it would shoot away from your army. Also now you might wanna look for opportunities to revive your heroes. In most cases I use them on the royal champion as she is the only defense targeting hero. But you've got to make sure she doesn't take immediate fire from high damage defenses. In this scenario I distracted the defenses with a totem spell first and then revived the RC. Of course feel free to use revive spells on other heroes too, like the Barbarian King when you need frontline tanking and the Queen when she can take out a key defense while other troops are stuck behind walls. I would highly suggest to include root riders inside the log launcher to prevent time fails from happening. If you wish you can also use the super version of Yetis if you don't mind spending Dark Elixir. At Town Hall 16 this is the army that carries my solo clan war winning streak. It has made warring so easy that I have retired my Town Hall 17 and 18 account. All you need is create a funnel using Royal Champion and Archer Queen. So first of all identify a place where you can get the highest RC charge value. Typically you would wanna look for a compartment with air defenses, eagle artillery, scatter shots, and monolith. In this scenario left side corner has 2 air defenses and an eagle artillery, so that's where we are going to start. If you have rocket spears then pop the ability early, and once she has run out of those spears keep her safe using invisibility spells every 4 seconds. Personally I like to count out loud the seconds, and once I get to number 4 I would drop another spell. In some occasions I like to use a rage spell on the RC to help her take out more key defenses. Since I just ran out of invisibility spells and I wasn't sure she is going to take out that town hall, then I decided to use the rage spell. Right after you can start looking where to deploy the dragons and where to send the giant arrow. Personally I gave a quick glance at the potential giant arrow trajectories when I was scouting the base, and in this case I knew my queen won't need to touch the left side air defenses due to the RC funnel. That meant I would have to align my queen with either the bottom wizard tower or upper wizard tower. Knowing that gave me 2 options to send in my main army, whether top left side or bottom left side. This way the army of dragons would stick relatively close to each other, meanwhile the queen cleans up these outer buildings. Since both upper and bottom side are quite identical, then I just decided to go clockwise around the base, starting with balloons to trigger traps followed by dragons and heroes. Now is also a good time to deploy the queen to shoot down the air defenses. Depending on the location of Grand Warden relative to the town hall you want to send in your blimp. Typically if the town hall is in the center of the base then you would want to send in the blimp pretty soon after the whole army has been deployed. In case the town hall is further you might want to delay sending in the blimp because its main goal is to fly over to the town hall to take it out before the dragons get there. In order to do so you want to pop that warden's ability right before the blimp flies out of his aura. Once it arrives to the town hall drop a rage spell. Now just keep the troops alive using totems to distract any dangerous air targeting defenses or heroes. Also I included one overgrowth spell to help funnel dragons and block any key defenses. Remember to always place the totem so it would direct the damage away from your army. By doing so you can triple other Town Hall 16 bases with half of your troops and heroes still alive. At Town Hall 17 the easiest and strongest army is this. Huge shout out to Ellison who came up with this strategy. Once you are scouting a base you wanna look for 3 things to help you decide which side to attack from. First of all, find a section where the air targeting damage per second is the highest. Secondly, look which direction are the air sweepers facing, and lastly do the same for fire spitters. Since both the air sweepers and fire spitters are facing at each other then we can't avoid both and we have to pick a section where the DPS is the highest against air troops. In this scenario it has to be the left corner with multi-archer tower, 2 air defenses, monolith, and 2 scatter shots. This is the area we do not want to face at the end of our attack. So bottom left or upper left side would be where we are going to attack from. Now that we know the side a funnel has to be created, for that we will be using Archer Queen Siege Barrack from the harder corner, and Royal Champion from the easier corner. At least this is how I have found the most success with this army. As you can tell the harder corner in this case would be the left side one and easier the top side one. When it comes to the giant arrow then do try to snipe as many air defenses as possible. It's highly advised to protect giant, Archer Queen, and Royal Champion as best as you can with totem spells, so you might wanna drop couple of them early on. Another way how to keep them alive is by immediately sending in your main army starting with balloons followed by dragon riders, minions, and heroes. Now all you got to do is keep the air targeting key defenses busy shooting totems. If you wanna use totems as efficiently as possible, then during scouting after you have decided which side you would attack from, look for the best totem spell placement options. Since I knew I am attacking from the top left side, then one great totem location would be between the monolith and the upper scatter shot, because this way neither of those key defenses would damage my troops. Once these have been destroyed and troops move forward, then totem right next to the bottom left mortar would keep the air defense, scatter shot, and the archer queen all occupied. To direct the damage off from your army, we can place one totem spell here and other right here. This way they would be shooting at each other while dragon riders can safely fly into the core. Now, following the plan, we can place the totem spells without a stress. Since there will be a lot going on, then pay attention on keeping all these key defenses distracted, because this is the key to tripling bases in Legend League. Also, if you notice that your dragon riders are losing significant amount of health, pop Grand Warden's ability. Since we are using Angry Jelly on Minion Prince, then do look for opportunity to get a good value out of the Dark Orb in the first 30 seconds after deploying the Prince. Because we are using Dragon Riders only, then after Angry Jelly has split off from the MP, he is going to clean up the trash buildings, which means after that it might be too late to use his ability. What if you have to attack Town Hall 18 with Invisibility Tower? Well, let's see. At Town Hall 18 we have the exact same army I just explained, apart from having one extra totem spell inside the clan castle. And this right here is a ring base with an invisibility tower. If you happen to go against a similar base with a dead zone around the core, then just imagine the base is a cake. All you got to do is cut out one slice of the cake and now you have an easy path around the base. Where we are going to cut out the slices, ideally a part with the highest DPS against air troops. In this case I went with the bottom corner due to air defenses, fire spitter, and offending queen being there. In order to achieve this kind of deep funnel, we have to use our queen, siege barrack, and royal champion to take it out. Try to place your queen so she can shoot down as many air defenses as possible. After queen, send in the siege barrack to help clean up the trash buildings. And lastly, royal champion with rocket spear to take out those defenses that are further inside the base. In order to keep them safe, you might wanna drop few totems to tank. If you happen to go against the bomb hive, then place one totem in front of it as well. Right after that, deploy the balloons, skeleton dragons, and minions along the side, followed by the heroes. Now all you got to do is keep your army alive, dropping totem spells to distract key defenses and using hero abilities when necessary. In this case I popped that warden's ability as my army entered that raged up core, and soon as the eternal tome was about to expire I unleashed the dark orb to slow down the defenses. Now just keep defending heroes and defenses distracted by spamming those totem spells for an easy 3-star. If you are used to discussing everything with an artificial intelligence, then right here is a video explaining how to win every clan war using AI.